The further I went, the angrier I got. For years, I'd been fighting for my family. I'd committed myself to an oath to my father. I'd built up a business to sustain it and even married a man I despised so I could create a future for the people around me. I'd known nothing but my duty to the men in my life, while the man I was trying to find lived a life of casual irresponsibility. He traveled the world on a whim to learn about mathematics and philosophy, while I had to raise the child he'd fathered. When could I ever do anything just for myself? I asked the world as I went on. I'd travelled in a circle all the way to the edge of the world and back, only to return to the place of our failure. With my eyes closed, I listened to the sound of ripping yarn and crumbling walls, and of coaches carrying good people away into a cloud of crimson dust. When the last moat had settled, I opened my eyes again and found myself in a dirty little room. An old maid was sitting next to my bed and smiled at me, then handed me my baby. Oh, dear God, he still looked so pale. I tried to feed him, but he refused. Oh, please, God, let him live. Don't punish him for my own sins. I gently caressed his head until finally he put his mouth to my breast and drank more and more, becoming greedier with every swallow. We had both been spared. We rested one more day. Then I gathered my things and headed back to the cathedral to thank the Lord for his mercy. This isn't a good place for praying. I thank you, dear Lord.
All right, steady now.
I thank you for having spared my child. I thank you for...
Don't let go until it's done.
But why are you showing mercy on me? I failed everyone I cared about. I failed Jack. I failed my brother. And if I never return, I would also break the oath I had given Father. It's just that I feel like I've never had a life of my own. I've always fought for others. And this may be the very first time that I fight for something that I only want for myself. Maybe I should just go back and help rebuild Kingsbridge. Maybe Jack doesn't even care for me anymore. Amen. Huh. I've seen one of those before.
It's amazing, isn't it? The man who did that really had it in him.
I agree. He always did.
Oh, you knew Master Jacques?
Yes, but it's been a while since I last saw him.
It's a shame that the Master let him go. In just 1 month, he did so many things.
The Master Builder said he'd fired him after just 3 days.
Did he? Well, maybe that's how he remembers it. The two didn't really see eye to eye, you know? To tell you the truth, everyone thinks that he feared for his own job having someone like that around. The last thing Jack did was carve that corbel. It was the one thing the Master let him do. Then when he was done, he was asked to leave.
Your master said he had no discipline.
Let me tell you something. Jacques worked very hard on it. He was impatient and had a temper, but you could see that he tried to overcome it. Conquering that rock was very important to him.
Oh, I understand that so well. Do you happen to know where he went next?
He wanted to walk the pilgrim trail to Santiago de Compostela.
The Camino? The Way of St. James?
He said he might find someone there who knew his father.
Just one more thing. How was he when he left?
Never thought about that. Relieved, I guess. He seemed ready for something new.
Thank you so much for your help.
Think nothing of it. And good luck on your travels. May you find what you are looking for.
Isn't it odd? Just when you stop looking, you come across the most curious of things. Like these 3 devices that one of my merchants brought back from Baghdad.
Oh no. Is it another one of your Banu Musa toys, Rashid?
They're not toys, Adriel. They're objects of scholarly ingenuity and reflection.
I will let my valued friend from the north do the honors. Jack, if you may. On second thought, why don't you save the lady for last? Otherwise, the other 2 devices might appear bland and boring in comparison.
I agree.
For one, let me draw your attention to the magnificent songbird on the table. And then to that wondrous
That's too
donkey
heavy.
next to the entrance. Although, the most astounding thing of all stands right between them. And now? Now, Jack will heat the water in the tank.
That statuette.
Haha, precisely. But one thing at a time. It's so beautiful it will make you cry. Just listen.
Well, how marvelous!
How does it work?
Maybe it's a miracle.
Right.
Go on, Jack. Tell them.
There's a hidden wheel inside the box. It turns an axle that in return raises and drops a sequence of small cylinders inside. These cylinders work like fingers playing a flute.
But who is blowing into the flute?
Steam.
Steam?
Yes. When I opened the pipe, it gradually pushed itself into the tube.
Power of steam. For once, I must agree. This is brilliant.
Of course! It was created by a Muslim after all.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. What else have you got, Rashid?
Anyone care for some tea?
Thank you, my daughter. We will have some as soon as Jack has finished our presentation.
Mind if I watch?
Of course not.
So, who is this man, Rashid?
Jack is a friend of the house. A brilliant man, a scholar and a talented artist.
It's too heavy.
Just the other day, he explained Euclid to me.
What is that?
It's too heavy.
A Greek who wrote a book called The Elements of Geometry.
I could watch this man scoop up water all day.
The Egyptians translated it into Arabic, and now the Englishmen are turning it into Latin.
How very peculiar.
Now, watch the head. Just any moment now. There. Did you see?
It threw up.
Rashid, this is disgusting.
Oh, far from it. Would you kindly explain how it works, Jack?
You see that bowl floating on top of the water? At the bottom of that bowl is a small hole. Through it, the bowl is slowly filled with liquid. Once it's full, it sinks, pulling a string which makes the ball drop onto a weight. This, in return, pulls the bowl up again, emptying it in the process.
Thus resetting the entire mechanism.
If you timed it perfectly, you could make it drop a ball at every hour.
Turning it into a clock. How clever.
For me, it's still nothing more than a puking donkey.
Show us more, Rashid.
One could join those two and build a singing donkey clock. One song after every hour.
That would be pretty clever.
I know, right? You could be the one to build it.
Oh, that would be unfair. It's your invention.
I would let you have it. Or we design it together.
You still haven't shown us that statuette yet.
Of course. Jack, if you may. Oh, you will love this. Just watch.
And now?
Just be patient, but don't look away. It takes some time for her to...
To do what?
Is it crying?
Isn't that amazing?
No, it's irritating. Rashid, what is going on?
It's a mystery.
Rashid, please.
We all know that there is no such thing as a man-made miracle.
And this piece of wood is very clearly made by man.
I very much agree, my friends. But so far, none of us has an explanation.
All we know for certain is that her glassy eyes shed tears when you move her from warmth into cold.
Like a plant at sunrise. Like dew. The only difference is the surface, that's all.
I think you may be onto something.
Am I? Of course, I had no intention of disturbing your conversation. But if you can find out why there's dew gathering on a plant, you may understand why that woman is so weepy. So, who wants a cup of tea?
I'll have some.
Your daughter is quite something, Rashid. A scholar in her own right.
I know. I'd rather she wasn't. It would make marrying her off so much easier.
Oh, I'm certain that won't stay a problem for long.
Maybe the dew originates from invisible water in the air. Water that stays hidden when it's hot.